I bet you guys thought this day would never come. That's right, your eyes do not deceive you. Today, we're finally doing the Scorpion video. Also, as you guys can see, I have a completely new personalized model for my avatar. I think it looks awesome. About a year ago, I was looking for something a little bit more personalized, and I came across this Wiz streamer, Piero Yuri. I think that's how their name's pronounced. I usually just call him Yuri. But she's super great artist. She's really great to work with. I'll go ahead and link her channel in the description below. I had a really great time working with her, and I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It looks really cool, and I've got multiple different heads and bodies to mix and match. This one specifically is my favorite. And anyway, hopefully you guys like it. I really do, and this is my new avatar now. Enjoy. I'll be honest, I had a script done for this like 2 weeks after finishing the rat video, but I just wasn't really happy with it. You know, for a little while I've had a bit of a writer's block. I think it has to do with the Scorpion himself. I kept just kind of mentally comparing him to the rat and was left feeling pretty disappointed. The way that the Scorpion interacts with the world of Mirage is so much more different than how the rat interacts with Polaris, and it's hard to appreciate what the Scorpion brings to the table. So without further ado, let's just get into it. The Scorpion is one of Grandfather Spider's children. Like the rat, he was born from Spider's nightmares while Spider was imprisoned in the black hole in Chrysalis following the destruction of the First World. During the events of Polaris, we traveled to a cave in Zafaria which had ancient cave paintings describing all three of Spider's children, and the Scorpion is said to be a master alchemist and a ruthless warlord, prophesied to rise from the desert sands and steal the sun. We play about 10% of the way through Mirage's main story before we reach the tomb of Overlord Xerxes. And this guy, Overlord Xerxes, was some ancient badass warlord who, way back when, conquered all of Mirage with the help of his evil djinn, Irkalla. The reason that this is important is because in the present day, Overlord Xerxes ends up getting revived by agents of the Cabal. We fight the Overlord and we defeat him, and then he just kind of fucking dips after saying he's going to go rebuild his army. Now, you might have noticed that I'm talking about several characters who are not the Scorpion in a video about the Scorpion, and there's a reason for that. We don't find out until 80% of the way through the main story that the resurrected Overlord was simultaneously being possessed by the Scorpion. This honestly confused me, because how the fuck does an undead minion get possessed? I thought the soul of the Overlord was possessing his own corpse, hence him being reanimated, but apparently there's room for two. Like, just to reiterate, this legendary figure, Overlord Xerxes, who died way back when, gets simultaneously resurrected and possessed by the Scorpion, all while Irkalla, the evil djinn who conquered the world with Xerxes forever ago, is standing right there talking to this newly resurrected Overlord, knowing full well that he is not actually Overlord Xerxes. Like, it makes sense, but at the same time, what the fuck? It's such a needlessly complicated series of events. Anyway, getting back to the main Mirage storyline, after we defeat this newly resurrected Overlord Xerxes, who is secretly being possessed by the Scorpion, the Overlord just decides to dip. He's like, the hell with this, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go resurrect all my dead friends, and then we're gonna go and conquer all of Mirage again. And then we're gonna build a wall to keep all of the minorities out, and Dragon Spire is gonna pay for the wall, make Mirage great again, 2013 or some shit. I don't remember what year this world came out, but something like that. And we don't see or hear from the Overlord again until it's time for the big showdown, which happens close towards the end of Mirage. I think it's like 80% of the way through the main story, we finally come face to face with the Overlord again, and his definitely 100% real, not copy and pasted 2D model army that's just getting stretched up and down to make it look like it's moving. Mind you, during this time, we've been going around all of Mirage, talking to all of the ruling house cats, and gathering all of these allies to take on Overlord Xerxes, because everybody is scared shitless of this man. Because again, Overlord Xerxes has already conquered all of Mirage in the past. He can do it again. And well, the Overlord shows up outside the gates of Agrabah and is confronted by our Agrabah alliance that we've helped build. And I think it's really funny. He just starts shit-talking, like, really hard. He's like, oh man, you guys sure took your fucking time. Thanks for joining us so late. I could have destroyed the city by now if we had just gone for it. But I'm gonna do you a solid and, you know, just stand here and do nothing. And, you know, and the Overlord goes on to initiate some other ultimatum, like, if his greatest nemesis fights him in a one-on-one duel, he won't immediately siege the city of Agrabah. We'll just settle it right here and there. And I don't know about you guys, but he's showing, like, a ton of mercy for somebody who's supposed to be this ruthless warlord. And as a side note, there are a few lines of dialogue throughout the main story talking about Azie, who up until now has just been this random floating skull dude. Well, during this dialogue between Overlord Xerxes and the Agrabah Alliance, Azie overhears that little bit about the Overlord wanting to 1v1 his greatest nemesis, and is like, oh shit, this is my moment. That's right, guys. I'm not some random floating magic skull. I'm actually King Ozymandias, the greatest king of kings who fought Overlord Xerxes, and I'm pretty sure he lost back in the day. And it's like a really interesting reveal that's kind of had a little bit of hype sprinkled in there. And then Azie absolutely gets dicked on by the Overlord. Overlord Xerxes like, huh? You thought I was talking about you? Joke's on you, kiddo. I am actually the Scorpion, and I've come to throw hands with the wizard. Get the fuck out of here, random skull dude. And I don't know, it's just funny. I really like it because it sounds like it's building up to something, but nothing happens. But they do it in a comedic way, which is pretty nice. I really enjoyed that bit. But anyway, we get challenged to a 1v1 with the Scorpion, and he shows off his master alchemy skills by cheat casting poison a few times during the fight. And then we win. No surprise there. We beat the bad guy, and then, you know, Grandfather Spider shows up and everything, and it's basically like the end of the world of Polaris. Except for the fact that it takes a bit of a turn, and it's not actually the end of the world for Mirage, because there's still like 20% of the main Mirage story left to go. This just kind of happens randomly in the middle of this world. Grandfather Spider shows up, and he's like, man, you really fucked this up, kiddo. I mean, I know I sent you out here to stir up trouble and, you know, make everybody focus on you so that I could do my own secret evil plans in the background. And I foresaw you fucking up, but I just can't believe you actually fucked this up. I handed you Mirage on a silver fucking platter, and you just failed me terribly. Go back to the Shadow Realm. You're grounded. And then he and the Scorpion dip. We actually don't see the Scorpion again until the end of Imperia Part 2, where the Scorpion and the Rat are both waiting for us in the Spiritual Grove, and they end up trying to plead with their brother to betray us and capture Mallory. Well, as we all know, Bat decides he's not going to do that. He's going to help save the Spiral, and after being defeated, the Scorpion, interestingly enough, actually pleads with the Bat and Mallory to just come with them. Like, he's like, come to your guys' senses. Your wizard friend may be powerful, but there's a literal fucking Titan about to destroy everything. We gotta go. Get in the fucking portal. And obviously, the Bat and Mallory turn him down, and the Scorpion and the Rat just retreat to the Shadow Realm, where they remain to this day. All in all, the Scorpion is just kind of a redundant side character who doesn't really accomplish much. Like, yeah, he's a child of Grandfather Spider's, and Grandfather Spider did send him out to mess around in Mirage, but realistically, all he did was cause multiple opposing factions to ally with one another for the sole purpose of fighting him. And then he throws it all away. All of that hard work, he just throws it away for a 1v1 with us that he ends up losing. I honestly, I have a feeling that the Scorpion and even the Bat were supposed to have entirely different roles compared to like what we actually end up seeing in the main story. It just feels like a lot of stuff that should have been there wasn't, and a lot of his character was just unnecessary. But anyway, that's the Scorpion video. It took me a while just because I wasn't really happy with the way that the video was gonna go. Like, it felt like I was just more of a roast session because he doesn't do much. There's not a whole lot to talk about with him. I also had some stuff come up, like, what is it? I planned on doing this video way back in like October last year, and then I got lazy because I wasn't really enthusiastic about finishing the video. I wasn't sure how I wanted to actually go about it. And then the holidays came up, I went and visited some family, came back, was still unenthusiastic about doing it. And then actually this past March, I broke my leg on a motorcycle accident. So I've been dealing with that the past couple of months. I'm on the mend, everything's looking pretty good right now. Sorry it took so long for me to get this out. I don't know which video I'm going to do next. I might do the Bat, I might do Mallory. Not entirely sure. Let me know if you guys have a preference, but sorry it took so long, and I'll look to see you guys in future videos.
No, I keep whistling.